Hey, welcome back. This is the last video in our little virtual viewing mini seminar here, video number 5. And in this video, I want to explain to you a little bit about the final process in a viewing session, what happens there. We've gone through the viewing procedure, we've done our ideograms, and we've gotten our sensory and dimensional impressions. And the aperture is open, we've perceived more information. And then at this point, we've gotten our drawing, we want to eventually end our session, and then what we want to do is do a little what we call a post-session summary. The post-session summary is very important because we basically want to summarize what, you can read my little chicken scratch writing there, post-session summary. We want to summarize everything we've gotten so far. This is a different sort of intuitive process. Here we're kind of looking at our gut feelings about everything we've written so far. And we're kind of looking over the words and the drawings and the images and so forth and picking out which feel the most accurate. And we write those down in our post-session summary. And we're not really analyzing any of our information or our data here. We're simply summarizing it to the best of our ability. Oh, that feels kind of correct. That doesn't feel correct. I won't put that in the summary. You're just kind of going along with this, as we call it, a kind of a gut feeling about what's correct and what isn't. And as you know, if you've read any recent works in the literature, Malcolm Gladwell's Blink or other books like that, that the gut feelings can be extremely accurate. This is something that we've learned, and modern science is beginning to show that this is true also. So we use our gut feelings to actually sort out through the data what is most accurate and to summarize it in a little post-session summary. Now, when we're done with the post-session summary, the next step is simply to get our feedback. At this point, we would take the viewer, you're the viewer, if I'm the viewer, and we would actually look at the target feedback. We would take our folder, open it up, and look at the picture. If we were looking at the picture in the folder, however we could get the feedback, we would take a look and actually see what the target was. And at this point, the process becomes full circle because the viewer was first viewing the information. Now they can visually see what the target was, and this kind of information now spreads out through the timeline in a sense, because now they can in a sense view what they were looking at, and in the past, almost in a sense, when they were doing the session, they can kind of get these advanced waves from a few minutes from now of what the target is. I know that sounds a little strange, but that could be one mechanism that allows this to work. But in any case, when the viewer does get the feedback, the process is now complete, and they can look over each piece of data that they wrote down and say, okay, I can kind of see this was correct. I can see, I missed this, or maybe I drew something and I can see, oh, that really was this part of the target, and so forth. Anyway, the feedback part of the session is extremely important and valuable because that's what allows you to tune your subconscious mind to the actual target process. It allows you to calibrate the whole system because every time you do a session, honestly, some part of what you're writing down is just your imagination, which is fine, it exists, but it may be embellishing the target, it may not be accurate information. And so when we get the feedback, what we're actually doing is calibrating our internal sensing systems to the actual target itself so that we can tune it up. So the next time we do a session and we get those same impressions, we know from our past viewing experience that either it's accurate or you knew that when I get that feeling that tends to be lesser accurate or whatever. It's kind of different for every person, but the point is that by calibrating and tuning your system, it increases your accuracy over the long run as you do more and more of these targets. It just basically tunes up your internal sensing systems. And really that's what this is all about. The subconscious mind has a huge amount of intelligence available to us, just a huge amount. But it needs a little bit of training and a little bit of calibration over the long term for you to be able to make sense of those intuitions and gut feelings and hunches and so forth. Because if you don't have any feedback about those things, you're not going to know whether they were just a flight of fancy or if they're really accurate. Well, the feedback process allows you to finish that circuit, finish the tuning process to close the circuit here, close the loop, and to fine-tune your intuitions and subtle sensing systems. So anyway, thanks a lot for joining me in this little virtual viewing mini seminar. Those are the basic 5 steps to actually doing any viewing session. There's the cool down period in the beginning, there's connecting to the subconscious mind, there's connecting to the resonance of the target itself, writing down your impressions, and then getting the feedback, doing the summary and getting the feedback at the end. And when you do each of those 5 steps every time, it becomes something that's automatic after a while. You don't have to think about it so much. But you begin to see that you have a lot of information available to you that you may not be accessing all the time. A lot of gut feelings and hunches about things that turn out to be accurate. And the whole point of this process is that if you take some time to train your subconscious mind, if you take some time to train yourself and your subtle sensing systems, it can become more and more accurate, and you can trust it more and more, and you'll actually see that you have a whole side of yourself, a whole aspect of your own intelligence that you may not have been using as much as you could have. And the bottom line with all this is it's simply a lot of fun to be able to do this because you're learning more about yourself, you're learning more about your abilities, and you're using muscles in a sense, mental muscles, energetic muscles that you may have not used in a while that are just waiting there. And of course, after you haven't used muscles for a while, you use them again, it feels really good. And that's how it feels when you're doing the viewing process too. You're using something you've got, and it's there, and it wants to be worked with, kind of like a pet in a sense. You have to take your dogs out and work with them and train them. They can't just be sitting around the couch all the time. So anyway, it's kind of like that in a sense if you want to think about it. Anyway, feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. Well, hey there, it's Simeon here again. I really hope you've enjoyed this little mini virtual viewing mini series. I've really enjoyed producing these videos for you, and there's a lot more where they came from. If you just want to click on the links below, you'll see that I have a couple different options for even more training and learning about the virtual viewing process. If you'd like to practice more and learn more, I'd be glad to work with you. We have different levels of courses, of course. There is the virtual viewing core class where we have 7 basic instructional videos plus a couple practice videos that's going to give you a couple more hours of experience and training and get you going and basically teach you all the basics that I would teach in one of my basic one-day classes. And that's available for you easily just by clicking on the link below. We also have the virtual viewing gold class with 20 more practice videos plus more instructional videos and all the Ustream sessions and other bonuses and so forth, which I think you're really going to enjoy, so I encourage you to check that out. And if you'd like to work with me personally, I do have a limited number of spaces available for personal training in the virtual viewing platinum class. That class is where we work together over the phone or on Skype, whatever you prefer, to get your viewing up to speed, and I can see how you're doing. I can give you actually personal training and coaching, and really learn a lot that way. I know you're really going to get a lot out of it. It's just really very interesting, very fun, and you're just going to learn a whole lot. So anyway, all of these classes come with my personal 30-day guarantee. If you sign up for any of them, you just decide it's not for you, it's no biggie. Just tell me that it didn't work out, you didn't like it, whatever, and I'll give you a full refund. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed all this. I encourage you to continue your viewing and your learning, and we will see you soon. Take care.